If your brand doesn't have an impact on people, you don't actually have a brand. If you notice today, influencers, they are not having the community that a creator is going to have on social media. Influencers have followers, they don't have community.
To you, what do you think makes a good community?
The first thing is,
Now, at the beginning, you spoke about how we are creatives, we can have the talent, but then knowing how to, turn it into something that is a brand and a profitable brand
yeah.
at that. So for you, how were you able to, know the line between, okay, this is for passion, this is for impact, and how you can be able to, sustain yourself?
I think that was when I started needing to pay bills. Actually, the fashion part was easy because I was living in my father's house. My father was taking care of me. My mother would always give me 1K, 5K, like hold your pocket with this. It was easy to just live out of the fashion. But when I started having to pay for my internet, to pay for my own clothing, to pay for my own food, and then I always like parties, so I always have to go out with my friends. And I'm not the type of person that goes out and then everybody's just paying for everything. I always feel very uncomfortable. So when I had to have all these responsibilities, I was like, okay, I need to focus now. I need to lock in and and see how out of my passion I can actually have money. And but the most important thing is I always make sure that I don't lose the myself out of all of this. We are all looking for money, but we need to make sure that the money that we are gaining is not we are not like we are not losing our sight from the impact that we want to have on people. And I always say that if your brand doesn't have an impact on people, you don't actually have a brand. Because you can make millions of money, but for people to actually own your brand, you need to work on how the brand is going to have the impact in their lives. And the impact is not charity, it's actually how you create the environment around your activity where people actually relate to what you are doing. Why do I want to buy your product? It's not just because it's nice. It should be a solution to one of the problems that I have, and that's the impact that I was actually looking for. And when I started doing business out of my passion, it was actually that I always want to make sure that if I'm doing a training, if I'm doing a strategy for somebody, how is it helping the person? Does the person actually meet the objective that he set from the beginning? If I'm not sure that I'm able to help you in that sense, I'm not going to be taking your money, whatever the amount that you want to pay me. And so that is one thing that I've been working on, and I still work on. Even with my agency, we are doing communication to development. We are trying to help people. Trying to help brands, but we want to help brands that actually want to have an impact in their environment or in their society in general. And if you are not aligned with us on that way, we are not going to be working with you. So I've had a lot of clients that were actually very capitalist in their minds, and most of the time we just fell out because if we are not looking in the same direction, we cannot make business together. So what I always say to people that I do consultations with is that if you want to have a big brand, look for the impact that you want your brand to have on people's lives. How is your brand a solution to somebody's situation? If it's not a solution to somebody's situation, you are not having a brand. Even alcohol that we are selling is a solution to some people. If I'm drinking your wine or your whiskey and then I don't find a solution in it, I don't find satisfaction in what I'm having and what I'm drinking, then it's not a brand. So I think that is how I'm able to bring together the passion
Everything that you
and the
do.
business part of it. Actually.
Right, you just touched on something I wanted to ask you. You have such a beautiful community, if I can say it, online,
Yeah.
on your different platforms. I wanted to ask what it takes to build a good community, not just followers, as people think,
Yeah.
building a community, because with community, like you said, there's an impact on these people, and there are people that are loyal to your story and your messaging. So to you, what do you think makes a good community?
The first thing is authenticity. And the second thing is relatability. And I would say the third thing is actually you being part of your community. Because most of the time, influencers or people on social media, They always feel like when you start having followers, you are already Beyonce, so you don't need to answer to people that text you. You don't need to write captions. You don't need to answer to comments, etc. Actually, for you to be the community, you need to have authenticity. What are you going to sell to these people? We are millions of people on social media. What makes you different? What makes somebody want to follow me and not following you, Gemma? Or what makes somebody follow both of us and just stick to it? You understand? So if you don't know exactly what you're going to show to people on social media, then you are not going to make it. That's the first thing. And authenticity is actually believing your truth. And I feel like it is what is making social media different today than what it was 5 years or 10 years ago. If you notice today, influencers, they are not having the community that a creator is going to have on social media. Influencers have followers. They don't have community. Because what they do is, I show you my life, whether you like it or not, you are just going to view it. Full stop. You can comment or not, I don't care. Whereas somebody who is a creator will always want to have the feedback from you. Like, okay, I went to this, I did this, do you like it? How do you feel about it? So that's the first thing. And being authentic is simply showing what you are. And it's the easiest way to be on social media, actually. Because you are just living your truth. If you live in a 4-story building house, fine. Show us your luxury lifestyle. We're going to follow you. But don't go and be showing the luxury lifestyle. Meanwhile, in reality, that's not what you are actually living. And we have seen a lot of influencers losing their communities or their followers once they realize that this is not actually their real life. You understand? And today, I feel like it's easy on social media. I follow a lot of people on social media, not because they are showing me a certain glamorous lifestyle or whatever, but I like people that are actually living their truth. Sometimes when I started working at my previous job with this NGO, the first time I went out of Cameroon, first time I took a plane and then I came back, people saw me the next day when I landed on a bike. And then they were like, "Donc tu as pris l'avion pour venir prendre la moto." And I just found it funny, and I just said, that's my real life. The plane is not my real life. I cannot even buy a ticket with my own money. I cannot buy a plane ticket with my own money. I am taking the plane because my company is paying for it. But if it's Benzikin, I can pay Benzikin turn over the whole of Yaoundé because that's my reality. That's my truth. And I just feel like that's why people liked with my content on social media. I'm not a very active content creator, but what I post is actually what I live.
What you live, yeah.
And the second thing is, how do I engage with the people that follow me? Sometimes you see somebody post on social media, he has a lot of comments, but he's not replying to the comments. Oh, je n'ai pas le temps pour répondre aux commentaires. It's okay, but by the time you stop answering to people that are actually commenting your post, the engagement reduces. There is this girl that I'm going to name that came on Twitter because my favorite social media is actually Twitter. Yeah. And so she came on Twitter from TikTok and she was posting her videos. Very beautiful girl. I like her. She's very fine. And so people noticed that she had a lot of engagement, but she was never answering to comments whatsoever on her post. And so women started saying that vous les gars, si vous partez commenter les photos de la fille, c'est alors qu'elle ne vous répond jamais. And from there, all the posts that she would make, the engagement was just going like this. Because people realize that she's not talking to them. You are not president or general.
I know the person. Let's just put it out.
And that's something I always tell to people. When you're on social media because people actually make you be on social media. You're not a star. People know you. You are not a star, actually. Somebody who is an artist, who sings, who dances, is a star because he's selling something to people. You are just showing us your life. What do you think that will make you a star out of it? So by the time you start engaging with your community, you just lose it. And the last thing is just relatability. That's how do people identify to what you are sharing, okay? Sometimes you can have situations where people need your voice to be heard on it. And I feel like our own creatives or our own creators, they don't always want to engage on this type of conversations because they feel like, no, it's not my job.
Their brand.
Yeah, etc. But if you are part of a community and then they are living some situations, you need to be supportive to what they are going through. And you need to relate to what they are going through. If you see that somebody amongst your follower, it's something that's very simple. If you have your follower whose birthday is today, go and text him and say, happy birthday, my friend. Like, it's your follower, but he also want to feel seen out of all the millions or hundreds of people that are following you. So sometimes you just have to post somebody because they share the content. You with your millions community or followers, you can help somebody who has 10 followers to get to 100. It's not going to take something out of your own followers, you know. So by the time you are doing these little actions, you're actually doing some PR, which is something that most influencers or creators don't do on social media. And I think those three things actually helped me to actually be in my community. I don't have a lot of followers on social media, but I know a lot of people. And what I like about my community is that I can meet somebody on the street and I actually know where I know that person from. I know that I follow you on Twitter. I know that you follow me on Instagram, and we can actually have conversations. And I feel like that's something most creators don't do, and it's unfortunate.
And that's why every Saturday we're waiting for
like a weekend.
That's one
right?
of like the craziest things.
Right?
It's like every Saturday I'm like, okay, I'm on Instagram. There's something that is supposed to be there. Your questions are crazy, and the responses are even more crazy.
That's something that I am very happy about my community, because Instagram is not my favorite social media.
Me neither.
Instagram and Facebook. I'm just coping. I'm just like, okay, I started it, let me just continue. Because I feel like the algorithms have really reduced the engagement that you can have on a normal or an organic post today. And so you can create a very nice video, a very nice vlog, you share it, then 10 people just see it with your 5,000 or 3,000 followers, you see. So at some point I was just like, I'm tired of this Instagram stuff, I'm not even posting anymore. But then I realized that it just came in my mind, like one Saturday I just posted a question randomly, like, okay, répondez par la question, and then I saw a lot of people answering. I was like, okay, so there are so many people that are actually watching my stories on Instagram, and that's how I started doing the question du weekend stuff. And I realized that most people like it. It was just a joke from the beginning, and I have like close to 200 people that are viewing the question du weekend every Saturday. And sometimes when I don't post it, people
ask you, where is it?
And it's very funny because most of the questions I have to think of them myself. Like, for example, I don't yet have the question for tomorrow. So I have to think about it. And sometimes I even forget, because I always say I'm not a very social media person. I have a life out of social media, and I always try to make sure that I'm living my life before I'm living my life on social media. So sometimes I'm in my house just chilling on my own, and then I see 9 p.m. like, oh, like it's Sunday weekend, so I have to go and post it, you see. But I feel like that's something that is really helping me stay on Instagram, to see that people are actually demanding it and people are actually engaging on this. And what is really impressive is that it's not 1,000 people that are watching it. I don't care about the numbers like that, actually, because I feel sometimes I have 10 people that answer to the question. Sometimes there are only 5 people. Sometimes they can be 20. Sometimes they can be more. And it's just about posting it. If it's 3 people that have answered this Saturday, that's fine. We're going to post it and laugh out of it. And what I make sure with this program is that I always want people to feel included. I don't want to do discrimination. I don't talk about, there's no taboo in this thing. If you want to talk about the craziest thing that happened to you, just come and share it. And I'm going to post it the way you posted it. If somebody doesn't like what I've posted, just don't come next time, because it's an open platform and I don't want people to feel like excluded, actually.
So, I like when you talk about you have a whole life out of social media, because right now social media is becoming this crazy thing where people feel this need to be on there and seek some sort of validation from it, right? What would you say has been like your biggest lesson so far on your journey to becoming who you are, who is seated here today, or the journey of Daniel? What's the biggest lesson that you've learned, or a principle that you always stand by?
I would say that I always want to make sure that I'm staying true to myself. And it is something that it's not easy to actually maintain. Because sometimes when you start having access to certain opportunities, you might feel like you are not part of a specific context now because you are going towards something else. But one of my biggest lesson is that you always find your way back home. Actually, you always find your way to where you are coming from, and you need to make sure that you are not becoming somebody that you are not actually. And I think most people that know me on social media, when they see me in real life, they don't feel like I'm somebody else. I'm myself. The funny person that you see on Twitter that sometimes we tweet in a window, or sometimes we tweet in pidgin, sometimes we tweet in Kanfangle, is the same person that you see when you see me walking on the street, you know. And I think it is something that always want to make sure that I don't lose my mind out of it, because there's something about social media fame, which I've not even yet got to, is that when you become very popular on social media, you just feel like you don't have accountability anymore, that you are the biggest pop star that ever existed in your own family. So you just feel like you're not working anymore, you're just flying, like, you know. And the challenge, or what is very dangerous with that, is that social media is very c'est éphémère, you know. It's not something that is forever.
Yeah.
You can be the most famous person on social media today, and then one event happens, the next day people don't care about you anymore. You are cancelled from everywhere. But it's funny, it's okay, because in Cameroon we don't have a very strong cancel culture yet. But I've seen a lot of people from other countries that when social media decide that you are nobody anymore, you are nobody. And then you just go back to your normal life as you have always been. So one of my biggest lessons so far is really, like, you need to make sure that you are the person that you actually show people on social media that you are. And that is why I always say, people always say, social media is not real life. I think it's actually real life.
It's real life.
The person that you are behind your phone should be the person that I'm going to meet on the street. So if you are strong behind your phone and you are insulting me, make sure that when you're going to meet, we are going to insult each other. And so we should make sure that we are actually owning, like, Gael usually says that social media comes with responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, most people think that because you're on social media, you're not responsible of anything. Oh, je poste ce que je veux, vous faites comme vous voulez, je ne suis pas responsable de ce que vous avez compris. You are the one that made that post. So you are owning the responsibility of what you have put out. So if you ask people to go and jump out of over a fence or over a bridge, and people jump, it's your own responsibility, because you're the one that asked them to do that. Whether those people, they are adults or they are children, you don't know how mentally people are on social media. We all come on social media because we want to entertain ourselves. We want to forget our problems in real life. And some people will come with a lot of burdens. So what you post can actually have an impact on the way they view themselves, or on the way they live their own life. So saying that je fais ma chose, ce n'est pas pour quelqu'un, it's a lie. You are posting, your post has an impact on somebody's life. Whether you like it or not, it will have an impact. Most people who contact me on social media, who DM me in general, they're like, oh, I like the way you post, I like what you post because it's funny, it's this. I'm not a humorist or whatever, but I make sure that I can share something that's meaningful to some other people. That's why on my social media, I talk about women, I talk about gender, I talk about minorities, because I feel like these people, they need people to carry their voices. And it's my responsibility as somebody who is acting on social media to help these people to actually be known out of all what we can find on our socials. So yeah, we actually need to make sure that what we are posting, we are able to like own it in the real life.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Neuf podcast. If you want to watch another clip, click here. If you want to watch the full show, click here.